afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for tuning in to part 2 of our day 4 topic, tornadoes and wind. This is part of our ongoing Severe Weather Awareness Week video project that we've done. We've taken this project on because, in case we haven't mentioned it in past videos, we are a Weather Ready Nation ambassador team. So the National Weather Service does call on us to do things like this throughout the year to help educate and promote safety and awareness for severe weather or winter weather, whatever the case may be, and to help you better understand how to be ready for severe weather events. Like I said, we're going to be talking about the wind portion of this event. And thank you to Al for covering tornadoes for us. He had full intentions of covering this video, but a little bit of crud going through his house, and he's not feeling the greatest right now, so get feeling better soon, Al, and miss having you. Last thing we heard from you, you got a tornado. I think you're just big leaguing us at this point. Anyway, back to the topic at hand. First, we're going to talk about what is the definition of wind, and the dictionary definition is the precipitable natural movement of air, especially in the form of a current of air blowing from a particular direction. And wind can be anything from a gentle breeze on a nice spring day like today, all the way up to a Category 5 hurricane. But there are benefits to having the wind as well. It helps to pollinate flowers. It can provide power to the earth through windmills. The winds from the ocean carry water and bring rain, and wind can help to maintain temperature over a landmass. But today we're going to specifically talk about the wind and how it affects us during severe weather. We will talk about the different types of severe thunderstorms and what their categories mean, as well as how wind events in some cases can be worse than an EF5 tornado. We're going to start with the special weather statement. It's a significant weather advisory. It's issued to keep the public and media abreast of a weather situation that is significant but not thought to be life-threatening. So if you have lawn chairs or patio furniture, it might blow that around, might knock your trampoline over, any loose things that may be out in your yard. Like your trash bin, like ours is today. It's tipped over, sitting almost in the street. So that is a special weather statement. It comes with other types of weather with it, but today we're specifically focused on the wind. And then we're going to talk about the 3 different types of severe thunderstorm warnings. A regular thunderstorm warning occurs when there are winds at 58 miles an hour or greater. That can cause some more significant, heavier things to blow around than just loose patio furniture. That may cause some slight shingle damage to your roofs and stuff like that. More of a threat to do damage, but not quite, completely destroy a car or anything like that at this point. We're going to move to severe thunderstorm with considerable tag. It's defined as anything with 70 miles an hour winds or greater. Now that will flip a car. I mean, at that point we're talking about an EF0 tornado. But the thing is, you guys have to think about, and what we're about to talk about, a severe thunderstorm could be along a line of storms that cover several counties. So imagine the damage we saw, some of the damage we saw over in Mercer County the other day. The EF1, some of that was EF0 damage, some was EF1. You're starting to get winds that could possibly create that type of damage but across a wider swath of land, because a severe thunderstorm covers a bigger area than a tornado. A tornado is a very specific location where it's occurring. So once you start getting into that considerable tag, you really want to start thinking about shelter and getting away from windows, because a good chance windows could shatter or break during these types of events as well. And then the last category in the severe thunderstorms is a severe thunderstorm destructive, and it has 80 mile an hour winds or greater. And that, once again, you're getting into those smaller EF scale tornado winds at that point, 70, 80 miles an hour. That is, getting there in an EF0, EF1 type of event. But when you spread that across a wider area of land, now you saw outbuildings were damaged. I know it is sad, isn't it, Thor, God of Thunder? But, outbuildings were damaged. Roof damage. We came across power lines down. We came across power poles snapped at that 70, 80 mile an hour winds. Now say this severe thunderstorm is stretched out over, we'll just use our area, Van Wert, Mercer, and Paulding counties. Now you have 3 counties wide of an area getting those types of winds. So, we start talking about winds on a broader scale. A more dangerous event is a derecho. It's a widespread, long-lived, straight-line wind storm that is associated with a fast-moving group of severe thunderstorms known as a mesoscale convective system, an MCS. Some people may have heard a meteorologist refer to an MCS system. Derechos can cause hurricane and tornadic level winds, as well as heavy rains and flash floods. But more so back to the wind part of it. I can't remember the year now, but Iowa, just here in the past, I'm going to say 5 to 10 years, just had a pretty bad derecho blow through with 100 mile an hour plus winds. Like we said, at that point, you're talking about an EF1 covering almost an entire state as it moved through. And Ohio experienced one of those 2008. That's right, yeah. So for those of you who lived through it, you remember power lines. I remember being here in 2008, and power lines came down. Some people had roof damage. Some people were experiencing, windows blown out. So that's what, some people will think tornadoes are the worst type of events, hurricanes, but, hurricanes, tornadoes, once again, they're kind of in a more specific area. When you have these derecho events, I think, the derecho in 2008 started like out Midwest and ended up going all the way to the East Coast, like Washington, D.C. and all, like Virginia. So you think there's probably at least 20, 30 states right there that were affected in some way from this derecho. Way more damage just because of the amount of land it covered than an EF5 tornado. And that's why I said before, not saying that we're downplaying tornadoes, but at the end of the day, when you have winds of 100 miles an hour plus covering 30 states, you have that greater chance for more widespread damage. And speaking of the EF scale, we'll quickly go over that and tell you what each category, the wind ratings are. The EF scale, it goes from 0 to 5. The EF0 has between 65 and 80 mile an hour wind gust. EF1 has between 86 and 110 mile an hour winds. EF2 is between 111 and 135 mile an hour winds. And EF3, which is what we just saw in Logan County over in Indian Lake, somewhere between 136 and 165 mile an hour winds. EF4 is 166 to 200 miles an hour, and EF5 is anything over 200 miles an hour. And I know at least one of you are going to ask this question. What is the fastest wind speeds ever recorded? That's a very controversial topic. I know that I believe on record they'll say 250 miles an hour, but the El Reno tornado had a National Weather Service Dow truck, Doppler on wheels, and they had a wind reading of 306 miles an hour. So unofficially, the 2013 El Reno tornado had the fastest wind speeds ever recorded. So, just to give you an idea, because I know at least one of you are probably going to ask that question, so I wanted to cover that as well. The last thing we're going to talk about is something that's not really well known. I'm going to do my best to pronounce this word, and I'm sorry in advance if I butcher it, but it's a haboob. And what a haboob is it's a thunderstorm that causes a large wall of dust and debris, or what's commonly known as a dust storm. They're unexpected, unpredictable, and can sweep across the deserts of the anywhere across the world at any time. So, in a lot of ways, when you have a dust storm, the thing about it is, not only do you have the winds that can cause damage and all that, now you have people who may be sensitive to dirt and dust and all that are going to have a harder time being outside. And visibility is now way worse because the wall of dust is basically almost creating a fog-like atmosphere in the sky, because what happens is thunderstorm has updraft. So what it does is it pulls all that dust and sand up into the sky, and that's what creates your dust storm. But with that, we're going to go. Once again, thank you to Thor, God of Thunder, for always providing his thoughtful insight. Thanks to Rachel behind the camera, who gets all this footage for us. Thanks to the team for helping be a part of this. And thank you to you for staying tuned and watching all of these videos. Hopefully you've learned something and it's made you just a little bit weather aware. We'll come up and say hi. Come on. Come here.
He just hops up there and puts his head.
And you can follow us on all forms of social media: Facebook, X, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. You can email us any questions at any time as well at psresponders@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for tuning in. Have a great day. Stay weather aware, and we'll talk soon.